Ban on the import of goods from Burma. The move was announced the day before the country's president, Thein Sein, addresses the UN meeting in New York. On Wednesday, Thein Sein met the opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi. The United States announced the easing of sanctions shortly before the Burmese president's visit to the US. It had relaxed its financial restrictions after the country held by-elections earlier in the year. Our correspondent, Jonathan Head, he's been talking to the Speaker of the Burmese Parliament, who was one of the top generals in the old regime. He said he and Aung San Suu Kyi were now working together as colleagues.
I
have good relations with Daw Aung San Suu Kyi. What happened in the past is over. It's finished. I don't see any point dwelling on it. Because she also loves her country, her people. We have the same intentions.
She was locked up for many, many years. The former ruler, General Than Shwe, who was very close to you, could barely speak her name. Doesn't it feel strange now to be working so closely with somebody who was once viewed by the government you were in as an enemy?
It's not strange for me. I believe this is something we need to deal with the present situation. That's why I'm collaborating with her very closely. Daw Aung San Suu Kyi is not my enemy, and I'm sure I'm not her enemy too. We have the same ambition, and that is to serve the interests of our nation and our people. We are colleagues.
You were a senior figure in the old regime, very, very senior. Why did it take so long for change to start, and why was the old system so harsh towards its opponents, so repressive? Why?
Yes, it has taken some time to change our country, but it was like that because of the prevailing situation at that time. I believe the problem of ethnic armed groups was an important factor. Although the government wanted to establish a multi-party system and a market economy, due to the situation then, it was not possible.
But do you have personal regrets about playing such a prominent role in a system where so many people were put in prison?
It's not so much regret, but we have learned a lot. We must learn from our past, so in future we can serve our people better.
Are the reforms irreversible? Could they go back, or do you think now Burma is headed in one direction?
Our reform process is irreversible. Our main goal is still to establish a multi-party democratic system and a market economy in Myanmar. And I believe that you, the media, will also provide valuable help in this endeavor.
The Speaker of the Burmese Parliament talking to our correspondent Jonathan Head.
The US is easing sanctions on Burma. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, who last met with Burma's President Thein Sein in Cambodia, has said the United States would take steps to ease the US ban on imports, which has been in place since 2003. This comes at a time when Burma is pushing through reforms. The powerful Speaker of Burma's Parliament, Shwe Man, has been in Singapore trying to encourage more investment in his country. Our Southeast Asia correspondent Jonathan Head caught up with him here and asked him what was holding up a new foreign investment law which had been expected to pass into the Burmese Parliament earlier this year.
In order to create a market economy, the foreign investment law is very important. Our people want to see foreigners making direct investment in our country. Only when we have foreign investment can development take place in Myanmar. However, the Parliament needs to make sure it protects the interests of our nation and our people, while at the same time looking after the interests of foreign investors too.
But it is proving difficult, isn't it, to get everybody to agree, both in the Parliament and the President. This law is taking a very long time.
On the part of Parliament, we believe the law was already complete, but the executive, the President, had other requirements. That's why the President made some remarks and returned the bill to Parliament. We will discuss it further, very soon, and then I believe the foreign investment law will be completed. Once it's returned from Parliament to the President, It must be approved within 7 days. While we do have agreement, we also have disagreement. But isn't this one of the essential features of democracy?
The Burmese Speaker of Parliament there, Shui Man. Well, markets in China kicked